we got March Madness now. I think it's quite clear we're not a basketball podcast by any means, but this is the one time of the year where everybody's watching basketball. Chase, your college basketball allegiance to who? Do you have a team that you root for?
I mean, by default, Kentucky, but I mean, I don't follow college sports like that really.
Okay, and Kendall, you're
I'd
a
say
Maryland
I
fan.
watch I'd say I watch the most college basketball out of our friends, and that's saying something.
And I'm a Gonzaga fan, so you know we have teams in this tournament, and I don't think any of our teams are the favorite to win it, but
No.
that's the best part about March Madness is you never know what the fuck is going to happen.
Yep.
Because you're playing a lot of basketball and not a lot of days, and a lot of teams can go down. So I think how we're going to do this is we're going to give all three of us are going to give our Elite Eight, and then work our way in from there. So
Let me pull it up.
yeah, you have to pull it up on your phone if you haven't already.
I got it. I got it right here with me.
So, Kendall, why don't you start? Who do you got in your Elite Eight, and then who you got making it to the Final Four?
All right. So, real quick, there's always one region every single year that's just dominantly upset heavy. And for me, that's the South, which is the first one that I'm going to touch on. My Elite Eight, I have Maryland, obviously, and Creighton. I've got Maryland knocking off Bama to get there in the second round. And then I got East, I've got Purdue and Marquette. Midwest, I've got Indiana and Texas. West, I've got Kansas and UCLA. Moving on to the Final Four, I have Creighton beating Maryland, Marquette beating Purdue, Texas beating Indiana, and Kansas beating UCLA, which puts me at my Final Four is 1 seed, 2 seeds, and a 6 seed. So then I got Texas beating Kansas, Marquette beating Creighton. So my championship is Texas and Marquette. The Shaka Smart game, because he used to coach at Texas. Now he coaches at Marquette. And I've got Texas winning it all.
Oh, wow! I thought we'd have more teams.
Yeah.
But you named off your teams. I was like, I don't have them.
All right. I'll go ahead and go because mine is very unqualified. I haven't really watched college basketball much this year. Watched a few Gonzaga games, but other than that, I have Purdue. Just a little caveat here. I have Purdue losing in the Sweet 16. So if you're wondering why are they not here,
they have a very hard path.
My Elite Eight, I have Alabama and Baylor.
Hell yeah.
The South. I got Tennessee and USC out of the East. That's my, the top teams aren't making it out of that region.
The upset region,
yeah. And I think you said something about there's always a double-digit seed in the Elite Eight. So I went back and made USC in my Elite Eight just because of the past. Because I don't think any of these other big teams are gonna. I have my.
Yeah, I didn't have a double-digit seed in my Elite Eight. I thought about it. I thought about having Charleston 12 beat Maryland, but I couldn't do it. But I have Maryland an 8 seed and Creighton a 6 seed. So
out of the Midwest, I have Houston and Xavier, and then out of the West, I have Kansas and Gonzaga. So I have Kansas beating Gonzaga to go to the Final Four because Gonzaga really struggles against deep teams because we don't have the depth to keep up. We have guys playing we have 3 of our 5 starters playing 40 minutes a game most of the time. So my Final Four is Alabama, USC beating Tennessee, Houston and Kansas. And then I have Alabama and Houston winning, and Houston winning the Natty in Houston. This fucking town will go nuts. And I've seen the prices for the finals tickets skyrocket in the last 2 weeks. They were $260. They're up to $485 right now because there's a pretty good chance Houston might be playing. So, I use the Ken Baum strategy with my picks. So if you take the Ken Baum strategy of top 22, top 30 defense and offense, and you do west of the line, and then the week 12 or week 6 top 25, and the conference semifinals, 100% of the teams have made it that have done all 4 of those things. have won a natty, and that left Kansas, Alabama, and Houston. And so that's how I got mine.
I forgot
All right.
what I was going to say.
But records are meant to be broken, so I wouldn't be surprised if fucking Houston and Alabama got first rounded or some
Oh
shit.
yeah. What I was going to say is my way of thinking every year in March Madness is I don't like to pick a team to win it all that comes from a weak conference. So like Houston or like Gonzaga historically. That's just not how I want to do it.
Okay. Chase?
What you got, Chase?
All right. This is in all honesty, I closed my eyes and I just clicked on things. But in all reality, all I did was I went with my gut, my first initial instinct. And this is where I'm at. I got from the South, I got Alabama and Baylor.
Yes, sir.
Yep. In the East, I have Tennessee and Kansas State. Midwest, I have Houston, and I got my Cinderella. Not really Cinderella, but I mean a 10 seed. Penn State making it. Don't know why, but you know
They're
they're
hot.
there. They are. They just. I mean, they almost came back and beat Purdue, right?
Yeah,
They're like down there.
They beat 6 ranked teams in a row before that game.
Yeah, and then they were down by 20 and only lost by like single digits. I think it was like by 3. The West, I have Kansas and UCLA. Don't feel too great about UCLA, but you know it is what it is. I have Alabama beating Baylor. I have Kansas State beating Tennessee. Houston beats Penn State, and then I have Kansas beating UCLA. In the Final Four, I have Alabama beating Kansas State, Houston beating Kansas, and then I have Houston beating Alabama. So that's my picks. Based, like I said, it's based off of just gut.
Yeah,
Gut.
and I know for me, the big thing is like we have till Thursday until these are finalized. I feel like my bracket's going to change between now and Thursday because I'm one of those people like I'm going to look at them like, well, you know, maybe this team name, like, oh, I could really see Purdue in the Elite Eight, man. Like Zach Edey's too good, but it's just hard because either way, like, there's no way it's going to be right. Like, it's gonna get fucked up somewhere. So, but that being said, I'm excited to start watching the games. I love March Madness. I love seeing these big teams either have competition or get all the way knocked out.
I will say, just from listening, my Elite Eight is a lot different than y'all's. I think y'all's had very similar. Mine was a lot different.
It was. Definitely was.
Yeah, I think it's just kind of, you had a very specific plan going into it on how you wanted yours to come out.
Yeah.
And me and Chase's was more of a, you know, I know for me personally, like I used analytics essentially for what teams I wanted to make it so far. And then everything else, I was like, okay, well, let's go by name value.
Yeah. Then again, the way I form my opinions is once baseball ends in October, beginning of November, if football's not on, so if it's not Sunday, Monday, or Thursday, the other 4 days of the week from November to March, I'll have a college basketball game on just because I think it's the only thing that's on TV that's worth watching. So I do watch a decent amount of college basketball, and that's what I came out with. I know Creighton at the beginning of the year, the reason I have them in my Final Four, they were a top 10 team in the preseason, and they couldn't figure out how to play together. And then down the stretch, they finally figured out how to play together. So that's why I have them in my Final Four. Because before the year, they were projected to be one of the best teams in the nation.
I think there's a very good chance for a team like Purdue to go all the way. I think one thing I have noticed is, like, I've heard a lot about Purdue, whether I'm just on TikTok or I'm always on sports TikTok, so I hear about college basketball whether I want to or not. It's just, you know, if you can get a really good defense that can deny him the ball, Zach Edey, because that's essentially their whole team. They got good shooters, but the majority of their offense down low is running through him. If you can neutralize him, because Gonzaga did a pretty good job of it early on in the season, denying him the ball, getting steals, and having athletes that can get up and make plays on the ball, even though he is 7, God knows how tall.
Yeah.
But if you also have pace, because that man is slow.
Yeah. They're a
And-
team. They're going to walk the ball up the floor. I've watched them play Maryland twice in a couple other games. So they walk the ball up the floor. They wait. They're going to feed Edey. If you leave him one-on-one, he's going to shoot a right-handed jump hook. If you double team, whoever collapses, he's just going to pass it right to that shooter. And it's just whether they hit the 3 or not.
Yeah. And I think if you can get a team that can force Purdue to somehow play fast or force turnovers and play a lot in transition, they're
Yeah,
fine.
that's how we beat them. Maryland beat them by double digits. That's how we beat them. We full court pressed them the whole game.
Yeah, because the Edey, it's essentially a 5-on-4 anytime there's transition.
Yeah.
Because Edey's not going to make it down the floor in time. So, but that being said, March Madness, it's going to be madness.
One of my
I'm ready
favorite
for.
times of the year.
I'm ready. I know a lot of people don't like him, but I love Dick Vitale. So, like, I'm excited for him to call games.
Oh yeah,
it's
I like
March,
Dick Vitale.
baby.
I like him.
my grandpa used to fucking hate his guts. He's like, this motherfucker won't shut his damn mouth. He's so funny though. Like
Growing
it's
up
just-
playing the college basketball games, I used to love whenever he was announcing.
so that's always good. I'm happy to still see him up in the commentator booth, with just joshing around. So